In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is extremely important, but I'm not sure that most people, including myself, I'm not sure we truly understand this concept. And it's the concept or the idea of unconditional self-love. Now, love, by definition, is unconditional and infinite, right? Because imagine the thought scenario where you spend the whole day loving other people. For example, you're volunteering for an orphanage and you're helping kids, with stuff, activities, and you're making them happy. Now, that day at midnight, around midnight, you would still have more love to give to those kids, or anybody that you want to give love to. So love is not like some financial resource or some material resource where, after you've given a certain amount of it, you don't have it anymore. It's quite the opposite. Love, you can just keep giving and giving and giving, and there's always going to be more love inside of you to give to other people. Of course, by the time it's midnight, you might be physically exhausted, but assuming that you still have the energy, you can still love other people. You can still speak with love. You can still volunteer with a lot of love to give to other people. Now, most people understand that. They understand that if you see somebody, especially children, who needs help, you would give them, all the love that they need. But it's more difficult for people to direct that love towards themselves. And that's why this short video is going to focus on unconditional self-love. And this is something I experienced myself. At one point in my life, I think it was 2008, I decided to put on my phone screen. I had a Nokia phone, very old phone. It was not a smartphone, but I had typed the sentence, "I love you." And I wanted to remind myself every day that I love myself. I know it sounds strange, but we need to remind ourselves that we love ourselves and we should show it. So whenever I use the phone, I would see that message, "I love you." Yeah, that's what I wrote. I love you. So of course, it's me loving myself. Once again, I know it sounds weird, but you got to remind yourself to love yourself. And here's an experiment that you might want to do. Imagine that, no, actually, don't imagine, do something for yourself, right? Something that excites you, something you want to do during the day because you love doing it. So when you choose to do that activity, it's an act of self-love. You're not denying yourself. You feel like doing something, whether it's a walk in the park, whether it's watching a movie, whether it's calling a friend. You do that because you love yourself. So don't deny yourself the little pleasures. Now imagine that you repeat that activity, or not that particular activity, but that process where you look around you, you try to identify the most self-loving thing you can do, and you keep repeating that process. So after you've done activity A, you look around and you're looking for activity B, where you're showing more love to yourself. And you keep doing this with activity C, D, E, F, and so on and so forth. And I guarantee you that fairly soon enough, you're going to feel so amazingly great. And it might even become an addiction for you to keep doing things that show to yourself that you love yourself. And this is really the key. I wish I had discovered this, when I was a kid. Nobody taught me, but this is really the key to having the good life. Now, of course, sometimes you have certain things that you have to do because you promised other people that you would do it. But even in those situations, you can still do those obligatory activities because you promised somebody else and you want to remain in your integrity. You can still do those activities in a way that gives you flow, in a way that makes it exciting. You can turn them into games. You can do them, in a different way, in a very creative way. So that's my point. My point is that, one, you should always choose to do activities that show to yourself clearly, unambiguously, unequivocally, clearly that you show that you love yourself. And number two, if you have to do something because you promised other people that you would do it, then do it in a way that is fun and creative and joyful and that totally engages yourself. And remember, there's never just one way to do things. There's myriad ways to do things. And all you have to do is find a way that is creative and joyful and passionate so that you feel the love you have for yourself because you're doing something in a way that is exciting to you, in a way that makes you feel engaged and enthusiastic. So that's a video I wanted to share with you. Try to practice that. Try to do every day, like, as many activities that show to yourself that you love yourself.